Welcome to the show, Respectfully the podcast. On the show today, this lovely couple, they're a couple of lawyers, they're educators. They have a new game out called Crime No Crime. Their new podcast, Politics, Law, and Life, is trending and waking up Black America. They're originally from Omaha, Nebraska, now living in Houston, Texas. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Lonnie and Mrs. Eartha Jean Johnson. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks
Thank
for
you,
having us.
Vic. Yeah, thanks. It's glad to be here. Nothing like having somebody else from Omaha to talk to.
Right. Exactly. I'm glad you guys joined. Look, I'm honored to have you guys on the show as lawyers. This means a lot to myself, to my generation. So I'm excited to hear some of the nuggets you guys will be dropping, with your game out and just all the experience you guys have in law and education. I'm always excited to hear from the pioneers of Omaha what it was like growing up in Omaha for you guys. What was it like growing up in Omaha for you too?
He's not from
I'm
Omaha.
originally from East St. Louis.
Yeah,
I moved to
Oh,
Omaha
okay.
after high school.
yeah.
Okay.
Came to see her.
That's kind of funny. Even though I got to Omaha when I was 2, and I
Okay.
still call it home, only because it's just I was raised up on Emmett Street, if you remember where that is, right
Industry,
now on
yes.
16th and Emmett. We
Okay.
had such a blast. I love Omaha because it. One thing about it is camaraderie. When I left and went away, I never really fully appreciated just what we had until I went
Mm.
away.
Wow, that's good to hear. Yeah, I love it. Okay, and so let me ask you. I see that you went to school, University of Iowa. What was it like for you as a black woman in the '80s or the '90s? Correct me if I'm wrong. But going off to college in Iowa, I'm assuming you probably were one of the few African American women there. What was that like for you in the University of Iowa College of Law?
You're going to be surprised. I'm going to start with my answer, and then Lonnie's going to give him theirs. I
Okay.
started off actually at the University of Nebraska, and I
Okay.
moved there once he went to law school because it was closer. But at the University of Nebraska, we had 3 black people in my
Mm.
class. When we
Wow.
got to University of Iowa, it was 66 black people. You didn't
Oh
expect that,
wow.
did you? You didn't
Okay.
expect that at
I
all.
did
And
it. I did it.
Iowa's dean did a fantastic job recruiting minorities. That was very important for him.
Mm.
He was just some kind of guy. Nebraska did the best that they could, and I think they did a pretty good job. Even though it was only 3 in my class, in
Hmm.
classes after mine, they had a lot more. But ours, it was 3 of
Wow.
us. We talked, we got along. I loved it, and not just that I loved being there in Nebraska, but I love what diversity was able, or my diverse background was able to bring to the college. Because a
Mm.
lot of times, people candidly told us that before we arrived on that campus, almost everything they knew about black people is what they read, what they saw in
Right.
the
Wow.
newspaper. But seeing and actually being friends with, hanging around, we
Mhm.
were able to change so many perspectives. Lonnie, you probably want to say something about your experience.
Yeah, I went from St. Louis or East St. Louis to Omaha, went to
Mhm.
undergrad there, and then went to University of Iowa for law school. And it was a great experience because the law students, the black law students, it was really a family. Uh, you know,
Mm.
beginning of the semester, everybody's where you going out to eat. Mid semester, it's okay. I brought my lunch because everybody, sort of run out of money for the semester. So we had it was a family. When we like one Thanksgiving, we all cooked and had a potluck. I had dinner for everyone that was there. So it was really a good family with the black law students there. We had a good time.
Wow.
And,
Okay. Well,
and
that's.
I'll throw up something else interesting enough. When we were there, our kids were very young, and they're all lawyers now.
Mhm.
But they actually were, I won't say raised, but they were with a lot of law students because they had a black student lawyers organization. And the kids school, we would drive to school together. Their school was right over the bridge. Every
Mhm.
day after school, they would walk over to the law school together, go into the Black Law Student Association room, and the black lawyers there would help us with them. We were in class. So they would
Mm.
help them with them. They hung out with them, and they end up all turning out to be lawyers. But a lot of that was rooted and grounded right at the University of Iowa.
Wow, what a blessing. I've never heard a story like that. That's such a blessing to hear a black family have a village in Iowa and to even help your kids
A
become
big,
lawyers.
huge village at that, and we still hang around with a lot of those people from that village.
That's good to hear. Wow. So let's get into this crime no crime, this game you guys have. Is this a board game, a video game? Talk about crime no crime. How did you guys birth this idea and what's the intent of this game, crime no crime?
The birthing of the idea was really easy. What happened is, the oldest daughter, she's a criminal district court judge. The middle is a prosecutor. The baby's criminal offense. And Lonnie and I were corporate lawyers. And if you imagine, you got a family of five lawyers, and our son-in-law is also a lawyer. And so every time anybody that we know, that friends of people we know, anybody that gets in trouble, where you think they're heading them to? For the most part, that family of black lawyers. But it was
Right.
really quickly and early on that we learned that most people don't know the law. I
Hmm.
think about it. Where do people learn the law? It's only after the fact. So we
Mm.
thought if we could come up with a fun game that was fun to play, but actually educated them on the law, we would
Wow.
be light years ahead of where we
Yeah.
are now. Because often our people fall victim to the criminal justice system out of
Hmm.
ignorance of the law.
Hmm. I myself fell victim as a young and was in and out of DCYC, the county, out to Kearney, Nebraska. So I know it all so well. So about the game, is this a board game?
It's a board game. Lottie has a little cold, so that's why I'm doing a lot of talking. It's a board game played a lot like the Family Feud. We were very intentional with this game. It was not just to teach people the law, but the gravity of their conduct. What I find is most people, they know they committed a crime. I would say 90% of the people that commit crimes, they know exactly what they're doing. But less
Hmm.
than 10% realize the gravity of their conduct until after the fact. And I'll give you a couple examples. It's played like the Family Feud. Imagine you
Okay.
have two teams with up to four people per team. First person up, think of the Family Feud, they're going to get a question, crime or no crime. That's going to be easy because I'll give you an example. Crime or no crime, you'll get this one. Crime or no crime, I'm trying to come up with abandoning a plan to rob a bank when your getaway driver don't show up. So you get to the bank, he doesn't show, you go back home. Crime or no crime, Isaac?
Crime.
That's the easy part. Most people know that. Well, most people on that one, most people get that one wrong. Actually, they feel like if they
Yeah.
go back home, it's good. Now you said crime.
Right.
Well, what's the crime? Now your team gets 20 seconds to confer as to what's the
Right.
most serious thing you could get charged with for that offense. If you don't name it, Team Two can steal it, and the answers to the
Wow.
back of the to the questions are on the back of the book, back of the card with the explanation.
That's dope. That's awesome. Yeah. So
Yeah,
I
but
would
what are you
think
gonna
it's like
get charged with? I ain't letting you off the hook that easy. What are you gonna get charged with?
it's still, well, is it accessory or still kind of like intent to commit a crime or accessory to a crime because they was
It wasn't no attempt. You actually, I mean, intent. You actually committed the crime. You're gonna be charged with attempted robbery, attempted burglary, because
attempt
the
to
law
robbery. Right.
says it has to be more than a mere plan. But once you
Mhm.
take any step in furtherance of
Mm.
that plan, now it's an attempt. And most people think
Okay.
went back home, no problem, no harm, no foul.
Right.
Wrong answer there. I'll give you another one,
Wow.
Lonnie's favorite. This one we love. And you'll get
Okay.
this. I think we cover serving as a lookout for a friend who
Hmm.
the homeowner kills as your friend goes in the burglarized house. You're the lookout. Your friend is unarmed. You think the homeowner and his family is off on spring break. Surprisingly, homeowner is sitting up in that house. Everybody else is on spring break. Crime or
Hmm.
no crime for you outside sitting in your car as the lookout guy. The
Crime.
homeowner killed your friend.
Yeah, he's self
Absolutely crime.
defense. Yep.
Now,
Crime. Yeah.
what are you gonna get charged with, Mister Lookout?
With what is it? Hold on. Don't. It's not accessory. Accessory to robbery.
I'm
Accessory
gonna
to
bring.
murder.
accessory to you were good with accessory to robbery because you're gonna get 10 little points, but that ain't the high answer. If team two would come back and say you're gonna get charged with felony murder, your friend's death, that's the answer. Most people
Wow.
don't. Yeah, the people
So
don't know.
how can I get how do they
The,
get charged
the,
with the murder?
the law says that's what the felony murder rule is. It says if during the commission of a felony, it doesn't matter what that felony is, if during the
Mhm.
commission of a felony, someone dies, and it's usually the serious, I should say serious
Yeah.
felony for most of the states. Some states are really broad, but for the most part, if during a serious felony like robbery, kidnapping, something like that, if somebody dies, it doesn't matter who pulls that trigger. If you touch that felony in any way, it's on you. And you can get
Wow.
25 years to life in Texas, but in some states, it's even more harsh. We just came back a few months ago from Pickaway Prison in Ohio. The warden there, she invited us because we were at a trade fair, and she picks up a game, and she goes back, and evidently she goes to the game and she likes it, and she ends up buying games for each one of the units. Turns out that they love the game, and these are inmates, and we never even thought about inmates
Right.
playing the game because you would think
That's a
they
good
would know the
market.
law. So, yeah,
Yeah.
so she had us come down there, and she invited all of the wardens in the state of Ohio to come and
Mm.
watch them play this game. And you had to hear the comments of some of these prisoners. One
Wow.
came in at 16. He had been there, he was 46, 30 years, felony murder, didn't touch the gun, didn't even know somebody had a gun. But those are
Mm.
the kinds of stories you hear, and our goal is to educate people. You want to say
Um,
anything?
and that's the thing. Most people, if they knew that just by being a lookout person,
Hmm.
would subject them to life in prison, as it is in Nebraska, as the law is in Nebraska,
Mm.
they wouldn't do it. But they
Right.
don't realize the gravity of the consequences. So therefore, a lot of folks end up in jail because they just didn't know the law. So that's what we're trying to
All
do with the
right.
game, trying to let them know what the consequences are, and if they understand how challenging it can be, how difficult those consequences can be, and they still decide to do the crime, that's on them.
Yeah.
But we want people to know
Wow.
what
You
they're dealing
When we know better, we do better. That's our hope.
absolutely. And so, are you saying the homeowner would get off on self defense, and the
The
murder charge
homeowner ain't
goes
get
to the?
charged at all. The hell,
with. Yeah, in most cases, the homeowner is going to be fined because
yeah.
you were in his
Right. Right.
house.
Yeah.
and
Right.
and
Right.
so the homeowner's going to be fined. It's just that the lookout person, in most cases, that lookout person sitting in the car with the only responsibility is honk the horn if you see somebody coming. That
Yeah.
person thinks I'm not harming anybody.
I
I'm
didn't
not.
go in. I didn't
Yeah.
participate.
So
Wow.
therefore, they think they're going to be okay when in
Hmm.
fact they're as culpable as the folks on the inside if someone dies.
Man, that's an amazing game. You guys, that was very innovative of you two. And that's a game changer. And thanks for doing that for our culture. Just what you told me already, I'm already pulled in because I could see it being fun and educating for my family. Where can people purchase the game at? Where is it available?
You can go on to Shopify.com, www. Crime No Crime. That's the name of the game. Crime No Crime. .myshopify.com. We actually have that. It's on Amazon too. We
Hmm.
have a clearance
Okay.
for edition one because for edition two, if you got kids, that's the one you need. And I say that because we added the summer. The kids are doing a lot of stuff on the internet that they don't understand the
Hmm.
ramifications of their conduct. Not only
Hmm.
that, you have these kids taking pictures they shouldn't be taking. They don't
Hmm.
understand how that can follow them for the rest of their life. Some of them can be have to
Sexually explicit
register.
pictures.
Yeah, they have to register
Topless girls taking topless pictures, send them to their boyfriends. They don't
Hmm.
understand that that is actually a federal crime. And so,
Wow.
one thing for mom and dad say don't do it. It's another thing for them to find out. No, you can go to jail for this. You can be have to register as a sex offender
for the
for the
rest of
rest of
your
your life
life.
as a result of
That's
this.
crazy.
And even to the little boys, they need to understand by having that picture on your phone, That's possession
Mm-hmm.
of child pornography, and that can subject you to lifetime registration as a sex offender.
Mm.
That's the
Man,
whole thing. Education is everything about the game is education.
Very intentional.
I
Like I
love it.
said, it wasn't. We didn't even put that little bitty, those little bitty crimes when there are big crimes at stake. Because when we get the call from the pastors, from friends, from even congressional reps trying to help somebody's family out, they
Mm-hmm.
always, for the most part, they think things that they've done is not that serious. Only to
Mm-hmm.
find out, not only is it serious, in a whole lot of the times, in most of the cases we get, they're actually felonies.
Yeah, wow, man, I've learned a lot already just in these 15 minutes. So, real quick, give us a crime that a young person may be committing right now on their Android or their iPhone that they don't know, other than what you just said. Those two were good because we know that's happening a lot, the nude pics and the topless pictures, etc. What else might a young teenager be doing, not knowing on their phone that's a crime?
I'll give you a one that you have a little 14-year-old middle school girl. She is developing her little boobs, and she's so proud. She texts it to her best friend. Hey,
Mhm.
just bragging that she's coming along. Crime or no crime?
Now what you guys are telling me, I'm gonna say crime,
You're
but I
gonna say
would,
right. That's exactly what it is. And
yeah,
not only so, what do you think you could get charged with for that? And let me
sending.
say something. When I say charge, a lot of these things they're not going to actually charge you for, or they may not. They can, but
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
our goal is to teach them how bad it can be. Not what you, but we
Right,
want them to know the gravity. So, what do you think? I
that's
didn't
good.
emphasize how bad it can be. How bad do you think that could be?
Based
What
on
do you
what you
think?
guys have already say that again.
What are you gonna get charged with,
I
or
think
could
she'll
be
be
charged
charged with and again I'm not really privy to those to the exact words of the verbiage of the law, but
with? That's all right.
somewhere that has to do with her having her being the exposure and having her clothes off through a text message, but I don't know the right lawful word that she would be crime charged with.
Let me have.
Actually, there are two different charges.
It's three.
One is by taking that picture, that's production of child pornography.
Okay.
Then when she sends that picture to someone, that's distribution of child pornography. Keeping
Mm.
that picture on her phone or the person she sends it to, by them keeping it on their phone, that's possession of child pornography.
Oh wow.
Each one of those things could
This
be
is good.
And they're
This is
lifetime
federal. And
good.
registration.
those,
This is good.
yeah, those are federal crimes. You see,
Better.
they're selective. All of this is subjective, and who they
Hmm.
prosecute and who they don't prosecute is
Right.
subjective. We want you to know the gravity. You can do
That's
this,
good.
and you put your self on the mercy of whoever that prosecutor is. They could be one of those zealous ones. They could be a fair one, or they can be one that just don't care. So
Mm.
we can't control anybody but our actions. And when you know
Right.
better, you do better. And I tell them, once you have this game, and people that don't get the game, don't even call me anymore because we're giving you everything you need. I shouldn't say
Yeah.
that. It's like we're telling you, we put a lot in this, and we even tried to make it so every family could have it. We done it with the
Mhm.
purpose, and we got to do stuff to save ourselves.
Absolutely. And you guys are really adding value and being trailblazers, changing the game with this. I've never heard nothing like it. So again, thank you for doing this for the culture. I want to ask you guys, because me, I come from coming from North Omaha, I come from the streets. And so I can identify with a lot of the people that think from an ignorant mindset, right? And your expertise, this game is an awesome way. Gamifications is awesome ways to get people engaged in activities to educate our people. Outside of that, what do you guys think about how do we get our culture to care about politics and these things? Because a lot of times people in the streets say it don't apply to us, like when it comes to voting or politics. The majority of the street mentality is, hey man, if even if I vote, it's not going to make a difference, it don't apply to us. How do we drive morale and engagement around that within that culture?
I guarantee you that if they go look at our politics, law, and life, look at the felony murder one, One is the right to remain silent. If they watch those two and understand just how serious it is and
Mhm.
how the impact of politics, it's one even on politics. You wouldn't have to try to get. They're gonna go looking for it because it's things that will blow your mind. Some of the things that
Mhm.
we're talking about today. Just imagine us going into more detail about that,
Right.
and you will learn so much. We it's up to our leaders too to get them engaged. It's our churches,
Mhm.
those are where those kids are the most vulnerable, are sitting in a lot of our churches out there, and
Mhm.
it's
Mhm.
incumbent on these pastors, community leaders, podcasts. Get it out there. It's no game out there that educates people on the law, with the exception of crime, no crime. We designed that game because it was a void there, and it's the only game of
100%.
its kind that teaches you the law.
And bottom
Wow.
line, to get people involved in politics, you have to show them why it's in their best interest, that it does
Yes.
matter to them. You tell them that uh, who you vote for can determine whether your grandma gonna get Social Security or not, or
Mhm.
will have to pay for use all of her Social Security to pay for medicine, as opposed to having some money to buy food and other things.
Mhm.
In terms of whether kids get SNAP benefits, food stamps,
Right.
and all those things are dictated by politics.
Who
And
lives or dies. Look what's going on now. All these people dying because of who we got the head.
Right. Right.
when you
Wow.
start explaining to them how politics impact their
Their
daily
lives.
lives, then
Mhm.
people start to get it, and they
Yeah.
start to understand. If you don't like this law, someone you voted for or failed to vote for enacted that law. So if you don't like
Yeah.
the law, vote for people who's going to change it and see it the way you see it.
Yeah. I like the route you guys went with the game, with the gamification of educating the activity to get our people to get the buy-in. So I love this crime, no crime. Where can people
Thank
follow you guys at? Your podcast. What are your social media handles?
Yeah, you know what? The podcast is Politics, Law, and Life, and it's on YouTube. And please subscribe. If you subscribe, it helps us get that word out there. Not only
Hmm.
does it help us get the word, we're trying to get this on a larger level so we can reach the masses. So Politics, Law, and Life, everything, our YouTubes are going to be crime, no crime. Everything just crime, no crime is pretty much everything. YouTube, TikTok, Facebook is crime, no crime. They put crime, no crime. It's going to lead them our way.
And the
Okay. I'm
podcast
gonna make
is
sure I
on
go
YouTube,
follow.
and you find it at Politics, Law, and Life, and it's AND Life. So
Yeah.
Politics, Law, and at sign Politics, Law, and Life in YouTube, and they'll take you right to it.
Gotcha. Okay. Look, before we wrap it up, my podcast is called Respectfully. How big has respect worked in your lives?
Respect means everything, because even when you get stopped by a police officer, whomever, and if you're respectful when they approach you, the odds are more in favor. Not only are you going to
Hmm.
walk away live, sometimes you're going to walk away without a ticket. I just
That's
think
true.
that in everything you do, any encounter, even when the police officers or somebody is in the wrong, you take the high road. You
Uh,
whatever, yes sir, yes ma'am, whatever,
yeah.
whatever it takes to walk away alive. And you,
Hmm.
bottom line, I've had a lot of situations where just being respectful and nice, it's benefited me in personal ways like you won't believe. So it's
Right.
never, as I tell my kids, it's never an excuse to be rude. No matter how
Mhm.
rude somebody else is, we're going to handle people with, as I say, mercy and grace. And we're going to
Mm.
ask ourselves, what would Jesus do? Because we want to be an example of Christ like in every
Yes.
single thing we do.
Yes, I love it. Look, thank you. I'm so honored to have y'all on the show. I know you two are busy. Y'all could have been doing anything else. Thanks for joining. I'm gonna make sure we get the message out. I'm gonna follow you on those social media handles. And
We're
I'm
going to do the
excited.
same.
I'm excited for my generation and younger because I'm gonna pass this on to my children as well. Again, and just thank you for what y'all doing. I know God sees you too, and this is awesome. And at your age to be innovative and create something like this is like phenomenal.
What age? I'm only 29. The word says, as a man thinketh, what is that? So is he.
So is he, right? And that wasn't it's not a jab. I'm
I know,
just,
I know, I know it wasn't.
yeah, in today's innovative world, usually it's the younger people that's creating, something that's spicy and that adds that much value. Like this is amazing. So I'm excited to see your journey a year from now, 6 months from now, just how far you guys are going to get with this game. So again, thanks for doing this for the culture.
And thank you for doing what you're doing because it takes your young generation to raise them up. They'll
Yeah.
listen to you before they'll listen to us. And it's incumbent on people that are like you that have the platform to use it to make our
Yes,
world
ma'am.
better, especially for our communities.
hmm Yes, ma'am. And that's exactly what I'm trying to do. So I'm glad we were able to link up. And again, I'm gonna support you guys. Like and subscribe to my channel. And I'm looking forward to going and trying to purchase the Crime No Crime so I can implement that in my family right away.
It sounds good, and I'm gonna follow you back. We'll be following each other. I'm gonna list you as one of our partners now. How about that?
Yes, ma'am. Well, thank you guys.
Thank
Y'all have
you.
enjoy the rest of y'all in and I appreciate it.
Thank you. You have a
Thanks.
blessed day. Take
You
care.
too. Thank you guys. All right, bye bye.